Teigen, Chrissy Teigen.
Christy
Uh-huh.
Teigen. Yeah, Chrissy Teigen. I can't speak for them, but I do recognize that some people who live public lives, when they go through stuff, they establish public platforms on on the situation.
Okay.
And to go through a miscarriage and to deal with that, I mean, I think it was Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade that they were very public about their struggles in having a child.
Mm.
And so they end up going a surrogate route and began to become very public about that process. And I think one of the two of me wrote a book. I think it was Gabrielle Union wrote a book and was very open and honest about her struggles with having a child. And when John Legend and his wife goes through something like that, they want to. They are public figures, and so they're probably gaining credibility to a platform that most people have overlooked. And the only reason why I would gain more notoriety is when a public figure like Legend and Teigen takes that stance that they take on the matter, and as open as they are. I mean, the public accepts them more and sympathizes and empathizes with them more only because they're transparent about what has happened, and they're open in their vulnerable moments.
Do you think that's something you could ever do? Just share any something private and personal, in whatever it may be, like that? Because I know for me this is a lot for me to do. So, and I know still I am a very private person. So something like that or anything remotely like that, I don't think I could do that.
Well, as public as me and my wife are, we're private in a lot of areas. I can't share a lot about my private moments in the public, but I pastor people. So, I have lived a very public life. Doing radio and
Uh-huh.
all kind of other stuff. And you begin to, the public begins to gain interest. And so you have to be careful with what you share about your private life to the public, because I hate to say it this way, but you got some people out there that's cuckoo for cocoa puffs, and
Right, that's what I'm saying. Think about it. When you open up yourself and share so much of your life, don't people feel like it's like it's a free for all? Now I can say and do what I want to you because you open the door anyway for me. So now I'm just gonna walk right on through. So
that's right.
yeah, I just found it amazing. I mean, you're on camera and you're holding your child, your lost. First of all, it was a little weird to me to even see that because to me that is like that's your time, your wife, your child. That's for you. That's not for all of us to tune in. And I know people were really nice and saying, we sorry for your loss, and people really show real concern. But I don't know I could have done anything like that. I don't know.
Right. How do you put yourself together enough as
Yeah,
a woman?
yeah. To gather yourself up enough, right? As a woman to say I'm gonna have this camera, in my face. How do you even gather yourself up enough to even do something like that?
I mean, that would be. I think I would be crazy. I just can't imagine you putting yourself together, trying to put on your best, and just without crying, just to get a picture.
And like I said, I saw more of her face than I saw of John. John kept his face buried a little bit, where you didn't see the tears, but still, I would not have wanted the camera on my face,
Yeah.
On me or knowing that at all. And then even to have her mother at some point held the baby, and her mother was on camera with their child. I honestly I don't even know how I felt
But
about that.
and that's not like a first time with like people who are in public. I've seen a lot of couples, like celebrity couples, do that where they're holding their baby and the baby's deceased.
That's the first time I've ever seen that. Who else did you see do that? Because I've never seen that before.
The Married at First Sight couple, Doug and Jamie,
Uh-huh.
when she lost the first baby, you didn't see. They put up a picture
Oh, I didn't see that because I was.
when they announced they lost their first son before they had the little girl.
No, I didn't see that.
Uh, yeah, Some people.
I just think to me.
I don't know if that's like a way of grieving for them.
I just think to me, that's how you invite cuckoos, like Dr. Fowler. I think that's how you invite crazy people into your life when they see stuff like that. If they're saying, if they're being this transparent about this, then why wouldn't they be transparent about certain things? And then when you have celebrities start saying, we don't have any privacy, you're doing this, you're doing that. Well, when you open your door up to certain things and then you say, oh, you can come this far, but not that far. To me, the door's wide open. I can do a walk and say as I please. That's my opinion. What you think, Dr. Fight?
Well, I think what we have to understand. Well, let me say this another way. So I thought when I was getting my master's degree, I was going to be a chaplain. I was going to go and pray for folk and be there with them in their vulnerable moments. But God quickly revealed to me that ain't your ministry.
Okay.
Not your testimony. No, ma'am, no, sir. I was working in Rutherford Regional as an intern chaplain, and I got a page because I was the chaplain on call that day, and it was late in the midnight hour. I got a call, and a baby had passed away. It was stillbirth.
Okay.
And I remember it like it was yesterday. The nurse came in with this small wooden box.
Okay.
And took the baby and wrapped the baby and placed that baby in that small wooden box.
Okay.
And at that point, I lost it. I could not.
Really?
I could not do that. Just to see the innocence of a child, even in the moment that they are no longer living, and to see that child being placed in that box, I said, you know what? I don't even know how to pray with these people. I don't even know what to say in this moment to lose your child in this moment, because you read
That's interesting.
Henry Nouwen wrote a book called The Wounded Healer.
Okay.
To know that all of us have some wounds, but you got to learn how to come across and navigate from the wounds that you have in order to be able to help people bandage the wounds that they have. And sometimes you can't heal because you got your own wounds that's hindering you from helping them. And so that helped me recognize I may have some wounds in my past that I cannot help these individuals. I just can't do it.
Wow, that's amazing hearing that from you. Cause I wouldn't have thought that, but I guess we all have to learn our limits and what we can and cannot do.
That's a limit.
And that is a limit right there.
I think I'm a little better. I'm a little better today. I've had a little more experience with death in hospital since then, but I don't know if at that season in time of my life I said no. I will not be doing this for a living. Let's move on.
And you know what? It's strange because you talk about that, but when after my husband had passed away, the hospital, the chaplains, they come in and they come in and they wanna pray with you and they wanna talk. I don't really remember a lot of that day. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really remember a lot of that, but I just remember the chaplains coming in and praying and saying certain things. But that would have to be a very difficult job to do, to come into somebody's room and to pray with them and stuff. That would have to be a very difficult thing to do, and to see an infant, a newborn baby who never had just didn't have a chance. That would have to be super hard.
I'm like Dr. Fam, I'm like
that have to be super hard. Yeah, no. And Dr. Fight, since you started off this story, you talked about your purpose, and that was one of the questions that I had today. We talked about people living their purpose, and how do you discover your purpose? And what I have said is that, and tell me if I'm off. What I have said is that when God puts certain things in all of us, that He talks to all of us in our own certain way, and He puts certain things in us, and if it's us to identify what those things are, and then put it out in the universe. And when you put out in the universe, and those two things line up, then you begin on that journey. So you tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm off in any kind of way, because that's how I'm seeing it. That's how I'm getting it.
No, I don't think you're wrong whatsoever. I think Oprah Winfrey, I heard her make this statement. I don't know if it's original to her or not, but she said that there are two important days in every person's life: the day they were born and the day they find out why.
Okay. I think that
Some
was
of us
Oprah.
recognize that we're searching for our why. And when you know your MO, your modus operandi, when you know the fact that I am here on this earth to do this, I forthrightly believe you will never work another day again in your life. Everything I do as a minister, as a pastor, as a husband, as a father, I take pleasure and joy, and I never get tired doing it.
Okay.
It's because I found my why. And when I found my why, I don't feel like I work a day in my life. I have so much fun with what I do. I get to dig people, talk with people, help people, encourage people, move forward. I take pleasure. I take pleasure in opening up commentaries and finding out more about Scripture. I take pleasure into parsing Scripture in Greek and Hebrew and Aramaic and wanting to know the deeper meaning and understanding. I take pleasure in all of that, so that by the time I produce a sermon and give it to people, the joy that I have for what I'm doing should exude into the people. They say, man, if I don't believe it, I know he does, so I want to hear more of it.
Right.
I'm pleasure. Like, I'm glad I get paid to do what I do, but even if I didn't get paid, I still would want to do it. Okay. And so I hope my wife didn't hear me. Baby, I'm still getting my check and paying the mortgage. So you gotta find your why, because once you find your why, I believe you'll never work another day in the sense and the term of work again in your life. And so on that same note, I want to congratulate my wife. She is the first in history, the first ever city attorney for the city of Shelby, North Carolina. She was sworn in tonight. Yes, she was sworn in tonight at the council meeting. Big ups to my wife. She is modern day Claire Huxtable. She is a wife. She is a fine attorney and a great mother.
Congratulations!
To our children. And so I want to thank God, but I promise you, I am no Bill Cosby.
She's getting sworn in tonight as the first city attorney.
Yeah. So intelligent, so great, and so. I normally try to stay on and crack jokes, but I gotta get dressed because I might be in the paper tomorrow because my wife is being sworn in.
That's what I said.
And I don't want them looking at me.
That's what I said, Dr. Fike. You talking about privacy? Y'all privacy? Yeah, it's just about to end. Cause you all are moving up with your trajectory. Absolutely. Congratulations. That is fantastic to her. Yes. And I know you're gonna be sharp. I know you're going to be looking good.
He got to go pick out his outfit.
You know what I'm saying? I got to go freshen up a little bit. You know what I mean? So I can just be nice and smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? Can't be having her looking all good and then me looking like, why in the world he with her? I want everybody to know.
He's going to go pick his outfit out.
All right. Well,
Google me. Man, my Lord, I want you to see a fine bitch.
Oh my God. Dr. Fight, your congratulations again to the whole family. I'm going to go ahead and let you go because you got to go get dressed. You got to do what you do. Look, I'm going to tell you, shave, do whatever you got to do, trim it up, do whatever. But stand next to the wife and be looking good. That's all I can say. Congratulations, congratulations a million times over.
Well, thank y'all so much. Look, I'm looking forward to, I don't know what y'all gonna want to talk about next week, but let me know, and I'll make sure I have some scientific evidence to prove what I got to say.
I love the scientific evidence that you do, because I'm going to say I agreed with you a little bit today on the whole dopamine issue in a man. I agree with that to a certain degree. But I'm going to have something more for you. You're going to come up with your scientific evidence coming up next Monday. Yes, you will.
All right.
Okay. All right. You all have a good evening. Have a great evening.
Will do. Y'all take care.
We will.
And don't do nothing I wouldn't do.
Okay.
Well, that's a whole lot.
I was going to say, Brandon, that's a whole lot. The door wide open. I didn't say it, Brianna said.
if my mama is still watching, I need to tell them. Matter of fact,